No. The unit, the unit, the unit, the unit, the unit.
Well, boys, what's happening? And girls, nearly went out over the handlebars of my chair for some reason, even though, it just happened when I started recording instead of like beforehand, so I could do something about it. But no, it said it just like, wow, we'll wait until he presses record, then we'll fucking make a big sound. Know what I mean? And it fucked up my intro. Like I was gonna say, like, well, boys and girls, and then I was gonna say like, well, guys and dolls, and then I was gonna sing the fucking song out of The Simpsons, which is probably out of something old where they're singing like guys and dolls. We're just a bunch of crazy guys and dolls. I'm assuming that's out of something else, is it? Tell me there, put it in the comments. So I'll start off by telling you to follow me on all the socials. Really helps me, helps the algorithm. Well, the comments and the likes and all that help the algorithm. So whatever you are following me on or do follow me on, then please engage in any way that you can, and it helps me out big time. So Walshunit on all socials, except for TikTok, which is Walshunit41. But if you search it, you'll find me anyway. So go have a look. Of course, we'll have a look. TikTok are a bunch of businesses. Anyway, that's what TikTok is, a bunch of fucking businesses. Because I was on live yesterday and I was messing around. I was on live for 3 hours, just chatting and messing and playing a stupid guessing game thing that we do on it, right? Bit of crack. And then I started, just as I was about to end the live, I started MCing for the crack. And I was telling people, I was like, oh, put stuff in the comments and I'll try and incorporate them into the MC. And someone just put in 3 laughing faces. There was loads of people putting in all different things. Like there was someone said like, my Ross. And I was like, who died in Glenagross? Whereabouts in fucking my Ross? Do you know? Just stupid things, just rhyming things with things, do you know? And there was 3, someone put 3 laughing faces. So I just said, hold tight with a laughing face. Yes, I'll fucking break a face. Or something like that about break your face. And TikTok kicked me off and gave me a 3-day ban from doing lives. Thinking like, what is wrong with you? Like, do you know, I don't understand how they're calling it threatening behaviour and all this shit, right? So then I posted on my Snapchat story this morning just a couple of stupid things. I went for a stroll this morning in around town, got a coffee and went for a walk, and I recorded like a grinder in the window of a shop. I recorded a bin or a sign for a bin, and just stupid little things. Four videos anyway, right? So I compiled those 4 videos and I put them onto one video and put them onto TikTok, and I put my Snapchat name on the top of it so that people can just see like that's the type of shit that I post on Snapchat. Said like, this is the shenanigans ass morning in around town, right? And TikTok deleted that as well. And they said that I violated some terms or whatever. I don't know, is it because I posted a grinder, which is for weed, but I didn't even mention weed or anything like that, do you know what I mean? So I'll just see now, can I see what, I'll just see, can I see? I think I have the screenshot there and it'll tell me what exactly it said. Yeah. So, a video you posted has been removed for violating community guidelines. Please observe these guidelines to help us maintain a safe, respectful TikTok community. Safe and sorry, didn't mean to play off the handle like that. Safe and respectful TikTok community. What's unsafe about me posting a fucking grinder that was the size of a DVD? Know what I mean? What's unsafe about me saying there's a sign in Fox's Bow and it says no bin here and there's an arrow, and I said, oh, it's just as well you told me that because I thought there was a bin there or something like that. And then there was like 2 other videos, but there was one there. It was Do you know the Frank and Honest coffee? Has anyone ever seen? When you're getting a Frank and Honest coffee in Super Value or Centra, and it says, "Careful now, hot water." What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you see that? Because the first thing that comes to my mind is, "Careful now, down with that sort of thing," or is it down with this sort of thing? This or that, whatever. Anyway, but down with some sort of thing. Anyway, Father Ted, obviously, like. So I recorded that and said, "Oh, if you're a Father Ted fan, just let me know," or whatever. And then there was something else stupid, and then that comes on and fucking deletes my video because it's unsafe and unrespectful or something. I need to stop raising my voice because my throat is doing a lot of things, isn't it now? 2 minutes now. Oh yeah, that fucking cup of tea now was roasting it. That's good. I started kind of getting myself ready before I make my tea. Like I'm literally ready to press fucking record, and then I'll make my tea, and that way then the tea is staying hotter for longer. And I don't want to use a flask like some people suggested because then the tea would be fucking about that hot, like fucking lava you're drinking. Know what I mean? Be like stretched out in lava, girl. Don't know what that is. Oh, it was out of The Simpsons, wasn't it? Oh yeah. So what I said was that this morning I went for a walk in around town, right? Because I was up at the fucking crack it on, and because of the hour changing, um, it just felt like I was getting up like in the middle of I go walking in the middle of do you know? And like I don't know. Wait, did I? Oh yeah, so you have to get up earlier, whereas when you look at the clock is later, isn't that it? Yeah. So yeah, I felt like I was getting up like in the middle of I go walking in the middle of the night. I go getting up out of bed, and then I go get a cup of coffee, and then I go into town and record a picture of a big grinder that's about that size, and then TikTok removes it for violation of their community guidelines in the middle of the night. Do you know what I mean? As you can tell, I'm in kind of better form than I was last week because last week I was pressed off my head. Um, so no, I'm not fully out of the woods yet, of course. But yesterday was probably the best I felt all year. I got a bit of a lion. I woke up feeling like Mufasa. I felt like the Lion King. So that's good. No, I didn't fucking sleep until 40 o'clock or anything like that, but I slept for about 2 or 3 hours later than I would usually be able to sleep. Um, it just worked out that way, and I was able to not set my alarm for the first time, I feel like, this year. Um, maybe there was once or twice, but yeah, it felt like it was a long time coming anyway. Yeah, so yesterday was just a brilliant day because I got that little bit of extra sleep. It must have been, I can't see what else it would have been. Um, so that was good, of course. So I felt like there was something else. Felt like there was something else I was going to say about the morning. Why is my fucking... Oh, I resisted. I was going to go get breakfast in town this morning, and I resisted and didn't go get breakfast in town this morning. I came home and made scrambled eggs instead. Aren't they very good? Do you remember that pot? Remember the tiny little pot that I put on my Snapchat story? I keep talking about Snapchat, don't I? I'm about 57, then like, oh yeah, my phone's on loud. That's good. That's good that my phone is on loud. Thanks, phone, for getting yourself involved. Fucking attention seeker. Um, but yeah, I looked at the place where I usually get breakfast, and I it said it wasn't open till 9:30, and I was there before that. So I was like, you know what? What I'd usually do in that situation, I was walk around and kill time and go back. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go home and make scrambled eggs altogether. Fuck that. So yeah, why not? Like, you know. And while I was on live yesterday on TikTok, right? I said there was a lot of people kind of coming in and out, and people who like I'd know it, I'd see their names familiar, but I'd be thinking, do they watch the podcast or listen to the podcast or whatever? And like at the way that it is now at the moment, like all my socials, the reason I'm doing so much on socials is to promote my podcast because this is my main focus now. Do you know what I mean? And I don't mind, like I like posting videos and I like entertaining people that way, but I feel like this is my main outlet now. And that's why I'm so active on TikTok. I'm kind of making my bit or on all my socials. I'm kind of making my business to post frequently to keep my socials active and relevant, and that way I'm after changing my most of my social names to Walshunit, like slash the Unit podcast, so that if I comment on something like a 95 FM post, like I always do, like 95 FM would say, "What is lava called when it spills and turns hard?" And I reply and go, "Pa," or something stupid like that. So then if someone goes, "Ha, that's that fucking idiot," I'm like, "Hold on, he has a podcast," and they might go in and listen or watch. So lads, I was listening to a podcast the other day, and your man had a bottle of water, and he was just going, like drinking the shit out of it into the microphone. I'm like, I'm pure careful then about how I drink my tea into the microphone because I don't want it to be pure fucking slurpy and sloppy and slippy. And that's why I'd be making all the mad shapes when I'm taking this up after tea, you know what I mean? Because I'd be trying to stay back from the microphone. But yeah, I don't know, it's weird. So yeah, I have a cup of tea. I had a cup of coffee this morning. I have a cup of tea, and I have a mystery mousquetool that can help us later. Oh boy, that's a mystery mousquetool that can help us later. Uh-huh. Um, and that was for the audio listeners. That was a can of berry boost because I felt like being a little bit nostalgic today and throwing it back, throwing it way back, laid back with my man and my money and my money and my mind. Yeah. So, how many coffees did I have yesterday? I don't know, but I feel like I'm winning at the whole coffee situation. Do you know what? Yesterday I had a bit of a lull. I felt a bit kind of So then I was like, okay, I'm going to go get another coffee. And it cheered me up. So I don't know, am I after change my medication to coffee instead of exactly fucking tablets or whatever they're called? I can never remember the name of them. No matter how many times I read it, no matter how many times someone says it, I don't know. I'll be like, it looks like the word exactly. So I'm going to call them my exactly tablets, okay? So now that's going to be my code. Like on the off chance, touch wood, that I have to get anymore, I'll be like, I got different exactly tablets. And that's the code word, and that's how you'll know what I'm talking about then. How's that sound? Is that all right, yeah? Cheers. You okay with that? Yeah? Yeah. Okay? All right, so no bother. Cheers. Bye. Yeah. Do you know what? I was making a yolk yesterday. Look, I'm not going to explain. There's too much fucking talking about my TikTok live yesterday. But anyway, I was using just like kitchen towels, the normal kitchen roll, the white, like tissuey, papery stuff, right? And it got me thinking, and I always think about this. Do you know like blue roll that you get? Like if you're working somewhere and they'll have like a roll of blue roll, and it's like for cleaning spills and fucking, I don't know, whatever. I don't know what its designated purpose. No, what its intended purpose is actually for. I know it's kind of multi-purpose, whatever, right? But you ever be working in a place and you'll get blue roll and you might make a toasty or something, you might have no plate. Do you know, there might be a toasted sandwich maker there or something, and you might have no plate and you'll just fire it onto a bit of blue roll. Is that even hygienic? Like, is blue roll made in a hygienic environment just like we'll just say Kleenex would be made or something? Do you get me? Like, do you know, like proper hygienic, clean environment, because surely like normal tissues for your nose and stuff like that are made like in a proper clean environment and like no bacteria or anything like that, I'd imagine. I don't know. Or they tried to not have it anyway. But is blue roll made in that fashion? Do you know, is it hygienic to use that to put a sandwich on top of, we'll just say? Oh, I know like it's probably not going to do anything to you, but like, is it intended for that? Do you know, because you just look at it and go like, I just rolled that out so I can put my food on it. So I'm going to check. 1 minute now, I'm going to check. I just after neck domination in the whole cup of tea because I was sick of drinking it. It's too hard. It's too hard to drink a cup of tea when I'm on the pod. So I'm going to check now. Is blue roll what you would have inside? I like talking to Chat GPT like this because it's like, I don't know, I feel like I'm talking to one of the boys or something. Inside in work or something hygienic, like For example, could you put a toasted sandwich on it? Oh, I'm asking here. I'm going to get on my glasses so I can give you a proper answer. In the middle of the, I go walking in my, in the middle of the, I go walking in my. So, blue roll, that thick. So, they're after saying, right? Blue roll is that thick blue paper towel you see in workplaces, especially in kitchens, garages, hospitals, or anywhere hygiene matters. It is designed to be strong and absorbent, single use, so it reduces contamination, easy to spot if it ends up in food because of the blue colour. Oh, that makes sense, because that's why some plasters are blue. Did you know that? I know a lot of people would know that, but I bet you there's some people who didn't know if you're working in a food environment or something like that, you have to wear a blue plaster, so if it falls into the mash, you'll see a blue plaster in it. Do you know what I mean? And it won't be like me the time I went to some chicken place and I got a yellow date label inside the batter of my chicken. Batter? Skin of my chicken. And it's not Chicken Hut. Don't blame Chicken Hut, all right? Because I'd fucking snap. It was the other one. Remember I mentioned that dark place where I tried to go for breakfast and they didn't serve us, so I left. Someone commented, yeah, you commented, saying name and shame the place. But no, I'm not like that. I don't like to bring a place down. Do you know what I mean? They might have having a bad day. They might have had like 2 people who called in sick, or do you know something that could have been just up in a condition for whatever reason. So like, I don't mind. Like, fair enough. No, paid €12 for 2 cups of tea, which is an absolute joke. But still, even at that, I wouldn't like to slate a place. I just don't think it's fair. Because like everyone's experience is individual. Do you know what I mean? And who am I to say like, oh, this is how it always is, and avoid this place, it's shit or anything? No, I'm not like that. Like, I wouldn't do that. But anyway, I'll go back to that and give me. What am I on? I think I wouldn't do that. I'm not going to slate the place. Oh, yeah, I remember what I was going to say. But anyway, I'm going to get back to the blue roll, right? So, is it hygienic? Yes, for cleaning purposes. It's commonly used to wipe surfaces, hands, or spills in food prep areas. Can you put a toasted sandwich on it? Technically, you could, but it's not meant for direct food contact. It's not food grade like baking paper, greaseproof paper, or a plate. It can shed fibres onto the food, okay, possibly contain residues from manufacturing. See? Manufacturing. Yeah, I thought I pronounced it wrong. But yeah, see? So that means it's not made in a stone divine clean environment. Right. So not be, oh man, no, it can not be designed for safe food contact. Makes sense. Better options, a plate. Oh my God, why didn't I think of that? Hank Scorpio. Why didn't I think of that? Do you ever say goodbye to a shoe? Do you ever see someone saying goodbye to a shoe? Yeah, once. Greaseproof paper, parchment paper. Imagine working on a building site, making a toasted sandwich and pulling out a square of fucking greaseproof paper out of your back pocket. You get digged around the canteen. What are they talking about? Like, greaseproof or parchment paper. Your man's there's a builder next to you stirring his tea with a rusty nail, and you're pulling out a bit of fucking parchment paper to put your sandwich on top of. Nah, go away, you get fucking assaulted. And then napkins, if they're food safe. What do you mean if they're food safe? Are all napkins not food safe? So in short, blue roll is hygienic for cleaning, but not ideal as a surface to serve or hold food. Never knew that. So now, hold on now a minute. Are all napkins not food safe? Question mark. Good question, and the answer is a bit more nuanced than you might expect. Don't know what that word means. Most napkins are food safe, but not all are equal. Why? They're just fucking napkins, like. Why are they not all equal? Napkins you get in cafes, takeaways, and restaurants. Plain white paper napkins. Kitchen paper towels, the kind meant for home use. These are designed to come in contact with food, like holding a sandwich or wiping your mouth, all right? So your mouth now isn't food, so I don't know why they're saying that. So they're allowed to come in direct contact with food, like holding a sandwich or wiping your mouth. So what they're saying is that wiping your mouth now is coming in direct contact with food. I know you're wiping food after your mouth, but you're contacting your fucking facial card, not food. Yeah, anyway. So be a bit cautious with highly dyed or printed napkins, bright colours, or heavy ink. Now, see, I always thought that if a fucking napkin has heavy ink on it, I still have Christmas napkins in my sitting room. I've 2 boxes of Christmas napkins in my sitting room. Not the ones for crying, them ones. I've one at one side of the room and then one at the other side of the room for my guests. So that one doesn't really get used, right? But they're like them crying napkins. But I always, and they have like little fucking Christmas things on them. I didn't even like Christmas. It was just Christmas time when I was buying them. And I stock up on them. I like to have them there for wiping my mouth and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So I thought that that ink would be food safe ink because you would think that. Anyway, right? So, scented napkins. Yeah, I'm obviously not going to hold a fucking sandwich with a John Paul Gaultier napkin. Very cheap or decorative ones. Oh, such as Christmas ones, like. They're usually still safe enough for light contact, but not ideal for hot or greasy food. Ink can transfer or break down. I know. Your fucking ink be doing breakdance on top of your sandwich. Napkins. So compared to Blue Roll, napkins equals made with food contact in mind. Blue Roll equals made for cleaning, not eating surfaces. So your toasted sandwich is much happier now. Your toasted sandwich is much happier on a napkin than on Blue Roll. Well, fucking duh, Billie Eilish. Well, duh. If you want to be extra safe, go for a plain, unprinted napkin or proper food paper. But in everyday life, the standard napkin is perfectly fine. Yeah, that's grand, so no bother. What about when you're working in a garage and you're using a bag of rags? Like, most people will know what a bag of rags is. Like, you've seen them in garages and stuff like that. Even if you don't work in a garage or haven't worked in that environment, you'll see them using it. Like, they might fucking take it out and it'll be a half a feel at top and they'll be wiping your fucking lower control arm or whatever with it, right? But like, do you ever pick up them, like, and you just assume that they're spotless clean? Like they're probably clean and everything, like, but they're probably not spotless clean, like. Do you know what I mean? You're using someone's back pocket to wipe your mouth, like. I was working in a place before, right? And I was in that bag of rags thing, right? And do you know what I found? Half of, not a yoke you tie around your waist on a dressing gown, half of one of them inside in a bag of rags. What the fuck are you meant to wipe with that? What in the name of heavens are you meant to wipe with that? A spark plug? Suppose you could. But still, like, you know what I mean? You think, like, yeah, I don't know. It's the weirdest thing ever. Like, you just looking to be like, why is there just a crotch of a pants in here? Do you know? Should they not discard of some bits? Like, I don't know. There must be a machine that's chopping them up. Like, but surely you'd look and go, oh, we'll get rid of that back pocket. Do you know? Someone doesn't want to be wiping them out with a fucking X Works logo, Joe Blogs or something. Know what I mean? Levi jeans. But yeah, I'd say would it be at some unhygienic stuff, like, don't we know? So while I'm on my phone and I have my glasses on, I'm going to go into Google and I'm going to look at an article what I looked up a while ago because I saw something posted online about it, right? So this is on RTE.ie and it's on a load of different news people crowd stuff, okay? And what it says is, the headline is thieves steal 12 tons of KitKat chocolate bars in Europe. 12 tons of KitKats. How big of a break are they trying to have? Fucking hell. 12 tons of KitKat chocolate bars went missing in Europe last week after thieves made off with the truck transporting them, Swiss food giant Nestle said. a truckload of KitKats. Like, it's probably, they're surely not just KitKats, are they? 1 minute now. KitKat, which is made by Nestle, said the truck carrying 413,793 bars of its new range set off from central Italy to distribute the chocolate throughout Europe, but never reached its scheduled final destination in Poland. The vehicle and the merchandise remain unaccounted for, and Nestle did not reveal where exactly the truck was lost. In a separate statement, KitKat said the missing bars are traceable via a unique batch code. Yeah, but like, who's going to be going around checking this batch code? What are you going to do? Well, like, I suppose they'll probably have people to go into shops and just check on the back of each bar. But like, if I was working in a shop, I'd just be like, no, watch that, bud, I just got that delivered. You know what I mean? And they'd be like, why are you talking like that? You live in fucking Germany or something? Because like, oh no, sure, it's still going to be me, isn't it? Anyway, so yeah, they'll have to go into shops and they'll be like, yeah, 20 at pump 2 there. And then when the vendor looks away, no, they're not a vendor, are they? When the shopkeeper looks away, you're picking up a KitKat and reading the batch number on the back of it. You know what I mean? Freeze, buddy. We know what you did. We know you took tons and tons of KitKats. You know what I mean? They'll probably sell them, like, will they? And fucking adverts or something like that. So anyone scanning the batch numbers of the stolen chocolate will receive instructions on how to contact Nestle. Oh, I didn't realise that. Whilst we appreciate the criminal's exceptional taste, the fact remains that the cargo theft is an escalating issue for businesses of all sizes, KitKat said. And it'll do absolutely nothing to them then. Absolutely. It's about €4 for a fucking one of the twin wheel KitKats. You know what I mean? So I think they'll be okay. Like, it's only one truckload. You know what I mean? I'd probably eat half a truckload a year or something. You know what I mean? I was going through a phase there, lads, for a while. And I'd get like either one of the big KitKats, not a 2-story one, or else a big Snickers in the morning time, every morning. And it was about $2.50 for each one. And then I started calculating how much that was per week. When you go $2.50 by 5 is what, $12.50? Then if you calculate that over the year, that's money. You know what I mean? I'm not going to calculate it, but that is, and that's a sum of money. You know what I mean? That's what that is. So, they're robbery anyway. They're robbery, like. So like the multi-pack bars, you buy 4 of them for €2 or something like that, and then you go into the shop and buy one. They're like, oh, $17.50, please. You know what I mean? Saturday homes around Gary On since lost their joy and pride, like. You know what I mean? They're just fucking, everything is just skyrocketed in price. So I'd say now KitKat are going to be all right. I'm not condoning it. Like, I'm not suggesting that you go out and rob the fucking Boost Bar truck. If you do rob it, give me a shout, because I love Boost Bars and I'll buy you a couple of boxes off you. But don't, like, I'm not condoning it or anything like that. And I don't think like, oh, fuck KitKat or anything like that. But like, if you can get your hands on a few boxes of Moros or Boost Bars, whatever they're called, give me a shout. And yeah, do you know? But like, I think KitKat are going to be okay. They're not good. Nestle is not going to go under, because we're getting absolutely robbed anyway for all of our confectionery and everything else as well. But yeah, the diesel has gone down in price. To be honest, I didn't notice too much of a change in the diesel prices. Like, I'd only put in 20 or 30 quid into my car a week, probably 30 quid, we'll say. And I didn't notice, like, getting to, like, the 5th day of the week and thinking, like, oh, fuck, my diesel is gone. It's still kind of lasting me the same. I don't know. Maybe I just don't do as much driving or something as some people. Like, I can understand if people are commuting for longer and doing a lot more mileage than I am, then it might hit them harder than it's hitting me. But, yeah, I was looking and I seen the diesel went to 212, 212, and I was just thinking of Azealia Banks, and I was like, I was in the 212 on the uptown. So that's the only way I was keeping track of the diesel prices. I was like, oh look, 212, it's like Azealia Banks. And then I remembered, I was like, hold on a second, sure. A couple of months ago, I remember looking at the diesel price and thinking, yeah, baby. Do you know? So that means that it was 173.8, which is 1738, which is, yeah, baby. I want you to be mine again, baby. Yeah. I know the diesel prices are driving you crazy. Yeah. I cannot see myself without you. Buy a lot of diesel. No, I don't know. But yeah, that's kind of where I was paying attention to the diesel prices, was just because, like, oh, it looks like a different song now. First it looked like Fetty Wap, and now it looks like Azealia Banks. And now I saw that it's gone back down to, I don't know, a sum of money, whatever amount. I don't know. I just tried to not look at things like that and just be like, I have to get it anyway. Just go get your diesel now and shut the hell your mouth. So, yeah, is what it is. What are we going to do? Can't help it. Can't fucking stop it. I'm going to go open up my mystery mouse tool now. Stay tuned. 1 minute. Back in a sec, yeah? Ooh, Berry Boost. Remember you? That's a blast from the absolute past. No, I'm not going to put it there quietly. Nah. Nah. If I put it on the table, I can see my levels moving on my microphone because the microphone is obviously bolted onto the table. So I put it down there. But yeah, what about me? What about me giving Pat Flynn a lift the other night? MC Pat Flynn was in my car and the two of us was just MCing. Like a couple of MCs. And then we took a picture and he posted it saying, finally got to meet the legend Walshunit. I was like, what? Me? I'm the legend? And I'm only a fucking idiot. Do you know what I mean? But that was gas. I was meant to meet him a couple of months ago. He was playing in Dolan's and it didn't work out. I couldn't I didn't end up meeting him that time. And then this time I saw that he was coming playing in the Black Rabbit. So I texted him and I was like, well, man, give me a shout if you're around, because we've been talking for fucking years. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously the both of us had a very like high like online presence. And obviously fucking you must be living underneath something if you've never heard of Pat Flynn, do you know what I mean? And then he started watching my stuff. I was listening to his music and we kind of started talking because of that, you know. So yeah, like we've been talking on and off for years and years, like, and then just the other night, it just like he was like, "Oh, I'll give you a shout when I'm around or whatever," and I was like, "Yeah, yeah, perfect, man." And then it started getting a little bit late, and I thought, he must have just forgot to get on to me, or didn't have time, or got delayed, or something like that. I was like, look, it is what it is. I'll see him the next time or whatever. And then I was thinking, will I just go to bed or what will I do? And I kind of wasn't tired, so I just waited up. And he rang me in, and he was like, well, I forgot to ring him when I got to here, but I'm here now, and if to go down at this time, blah, blah, blah. I said, you know what? I said, I'll collect you from your hotel, and I'll drop you down to the Black Rabbit. And he was like, yeah, cool, no bother. So I was like, all right. I just drove down. And he texted me in, it was like just coming out there now. And I just looked, and there was just Pat Flynn walking out of the hotel to get into my car. I was thinking, what's going on here? Life is mock. Do you know what I mean? That's just mental. Like, and then, so not only did I pick him up and he was in my car and we were just driving up through Limerick, up O'Connell Street with MC Pat Flynn in my passenger seat. I'm thinking like, this is weird. This is mad. Like, cool. Like, you know, if I saw this, if someone told me this fucking 10 years ago, I'd be like, what? Nah, how? Like, do you know? And I'm not saying like, some people are probably watching going like, or listening to this going like, yeah, who gives a fuck? Like, whatever. But it's a big thing for me, all right? So shut up, you. With your face. Look at your hair. You're a show. I'm just like, yeah, I was thinking like, so that was mad, right? I was just driving up through town, just chatting away with him. And then we pulled up down with a milk market around the corner from the Black Rabbit. And all the cars are parked in along, like, facing the milk market. So I just pulled up behind all those cars on the main road. Like, obviously, it was quiet now, like, it was a Thursday night. And there was no real cars passing or anything like that. Put on my hazard lights, and I says, yeah, shall I leave you here? So I said, because it's just around the corner. I said, come here, can we do a quick video there? And he's like, yeah, no problem whatsoever. We got out of the car. We took pictures. We made a video for TikTok and everything, and he's like, yeah, send that to me now, and blah, blah. And he posted it, and he posted the pictures and everything else, and that was cool. And then just as he was leaving to go into the gig, I was like, oh, hold on. I said, well, I have you. I nearly forgot. I had 3 of my air fresheners with my podcast logo in my pocket for him. So I just goes, here, there's a few air fresheners for you, whatever. He was like, yeah, cool, nice one, yeah. So I was thinking, I hope no, he doesn't fucking lose them or whatever, you know, because it'd be easy to do that, like, because you're going in to fucking do a gig, like, you're not going to be thinking, oh, better mind my air fresheners. You could easily just leave them down somewhere and just forget that you even have them, you know. And then I woke up the next morning, he was after sending me a video of the fucking air freshener hanging off the mirror of his car. So now MC Pat Flynn is just driving around Waterford with a picture of me hanging off his mirror of his car. How mad is that? Do you know what I mean? It's just mental. And yeah, if anyone thinks that that's not cool, then just fuck off. Like, just block and delete me. Just block and blood clot delete me. I think it's cool anyway, right? So yeah. What else? Oh, I forgot what I was going to say. So a while ago, what was I saying? Remember? And I said, oh, I hope I remember this. And then I did remember it. And then I said, yeah, I won't forget it though. Anyway, I can't remember what I was talking about, but I remember what I was supposed to remember. So something about, oh yes, when I said that I wouldn't slate places because they could have been having a bad day or this or that. But I think that that's the same with food reviews. Like, if someone has a bad experience in a place, like, it might not always be like that. Do you know what I mean? And that's why I think if I was to become a food reviewer, right, for some, like, I don't know why I would, because that's just not my market kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? Not that I have a market. I'm only doing this out for the crack. Like, it's not as if it's not my demographic, you know. But like, I mean, that's not my niche. Like, I don't even have a niche. Someone told me I should find my niche before, and I just called down to my sister's house, and she was there with my nephew. But yeah, I don't know what I'm trying to say. It's not my bag, like, do you know what I mean? I don't do that stuff. No, I would, but what I'm saying is, if I was to do it, and someone asked me to do it for their place or whatever, right? Or even if I just chose myself to be like, oh, I'm going to go to this place and I'm going to make a video about it. Fair enough, right? Don't ask me to do scores. Don't ask me to do fucking 1 out of 10 or fucking 1 to 10 or 1.6 out of 4. And because I don't know how to do that. Like, I don't know what that scale looks like, and I don't know how to grade things and rate them on that scale. That would just send me too far up into my head. I'd be like, oh, 9.6. And then I'm like, wait, why am I saying 0.6? Should it not be like 0.5? So that's only like, that's like 50% of the 9 then up. Do you know what? And I'd be just thinking too much about it. So all I'd be able to say is like, yeah, that food was nice. Or I'd be able to say, I didn't really like that food. But I would feel, I wouldn't like to say that I didn't like food somewhere. So if I was to go somewhere and decide I'm going to record it and put up a video about it, whatever, what I do is only put up things that I enjoyed, so that I could tell people, I enjoyed this food, you should go try it too. Because I think a bad place is not going to have a good day where the food is just unbelievable. But I do think that good places are going to have a bad day, and if the standards of the food might not be the same way they are the following day, or the same way they are the next hour, or the next dish. Do you know what I mean? So that's just my personal opinion. No, I'm not fucking, that's not a knock on anybody. People who are into it, and who are giving ratings know how to give ratings. But I just don't understand that world. Do you get me? And it comes back to what I was saying about, like, that I wouldn't feel right slating a place, because I know how hard it is for people in business to get off, like, not even to get off the ground, but to, like, to keep it going. Because, like, when you have a business like that, it's not as if you need to just go like, oh, I'm starting my new business, so I need to make sure it's right now for this first month, and then get all the customers in, and that's going to be fine. You have to do that day in, day out, every day, every week, every month, every year, in order to keep your business running. You cannot let your standards drop. Do you know what I mean? And then if you have a bad day, and it might not necessarily be like a fucking, there was an eyebrow on your pizza or anything like that, do you know what I mean? But, like, if it was like a staff member was rude to you, or if you were left waiting longer than usual, like, do you know, someone could have fucking had a baby in the kitchen, and that's why it took so long. The person who was rude to you might have might have only got 1 day's work this week and she's sick of her job. And she's like, yeah, whatever, I'm not listening to your shit kind of a thing. Like, and she's on the verge of quitting or whatever, but that doesn't represent the whole business then. So, yeah, I don't know. That's just what I think anyway. And the only reason that I'm saying that is because when I thought of like that I wouldn't like to slate a place, that came into my mind because that's something that I've always thought about, that sort of thing, So that's why I said I would say it to you. But I was saying there about like the girl could have been getting shitty hours and quitting her job or whatever. But then that got me thinking then. I can't remember. I was talking to somebody the other day about a job interview. Like, not that I had a job interview, that they had a job interview. Or was it that they had a job interview, or were they just talking about job interviews or something like that? And I was like, fucking, can't remember. I think I don't know, did I go like and try to, did they ask me for advice or something? I don't know what the fuck it was. But like, I remember anyway, I went down the silly route. I was like, imagine going into a job interview and you just get there on time. Like, if I was ever going for a job interview, I'd be 5 or 10 minutes early and just be like, not needy. That's not the word that I'm looking for. What's it called? Like, when you're there beforehand, so you're not dedicated. That's the fucking word. You're screaming the word now at the radio in the car. That word anyway, just to be enthusiastic about my job interview, right? So I'd make sure to show up a little bit early. But imagine showing up bang on time, or like 2 minutes after you're supposed to, right? And you're there and you're dressed nice and you look good and you're ready to go and everything, whatever. And then you just have like a Supermax cup in your hand with like a bare little bit of Coke left in the bottom of it. And you come in the door and you're like, well, sorry about that. I was just, I missed the bus, whatever. And you're just drinking the Coke out of it with the ice at the end of it. I think that'd be, or even one of the big Burger King ones, not the ones that's like a gas barrel, and you're holding it with your two hands. You come in, oh, sorry, traffic was mad, and you just have this giant fucking gas barrel sized fucking Coke knot in your hand, and you're there in the middle of it, and they're like, right, and so with our company, we believe, and they're talking away, and you're in the background going. Wouldn't that be funny? Or if you went in for a job interview and you had a pair of jeans on and there was just a big rip, like we'll just say the bollocks was ripped out of your jeans. Now that part of it was just ripped open, and then the interviewer was like, or if you were like, oh, sorry, I'm a little bit late. No, yeah, traffic was mad. And then the interviewer looks at you and your pants are just wide open or whatever. And she's like, what happened, Joe? You're like, well, none. Just traffic was bad, and your pants is ripped in half. That'd be good as well, wouldn't it? But I can remember like going for job interviews and being so nervous years ago, and like, oh, what, like, say no if they said this, and I think it all stemmed from an interview that I had. I went to Dunn's on the Childers Road when I was fucking, Jesus, I don't know what age, probably 18 or something like that, and they told me I had an interview in the morning at, we'll just say 10 o'clock or something. And that night before then, I was like, oh, God, I have an interview now tomorrow. And what am I going to say? And what if they say this? And what if they say that? And I ended up not sleeping all night. I was like, I'll stay up all night. And then be properly prepared in the morning. Stupidness, like, you know what I mean? And then when I got in there, they were asking me questions, pure basic things. And I was like, yeah, suppose. I had something on my CV about like first aid because I did I do a course somewhere or something like that. I think I got like a first aid certificate or something from it. And they were like, oh, we see here you have first aid done or whatever. I was like, yeah. They were like, okay. And can you explain a little bit about that to us? And I was like, um, yeah, I just did like a course on it, like, And they were like, right. And yeah, could you just go into it a little bit, like, and I think they were saying, like, tell us what you learned or tell us what situations you'd be able to deal with or whatever. I was like, no, just the basic stuff, like if something happened or whatever, like, they were like, and then they asked me another question. I just did not know what to say. And now the last like job interview I had, I just went in pure confident and I literally said at the end of it, I said, look, I said, obviously you don't know this. I said, But I feel like I'm the person for this job, and I'd love to be able to prove that to you, because I'm confident that I'd be able to do my job to the standards that you'd like, and I feel like I feel like your company would benefit from my work ethic. And as I said, like, I'd love to be able to be given the opportunity to prove that to you. And yeah, worked in my favour, got the job. So yeah, I think even if you're not confident going into a job interview, just pretend you are, but not cocky then either. Like, I made sure not to come across in a cocky way. It's a funny word, isn't it? But way like, uh, but I just came across as confident, be like, yeah, no problem, I'll be able to do this, no problem, and you'll be happy with me. Let me prove it to you. Do you know what I mean? So you should try that in your next job interview, because you'll probably have a job interview lined up now. Do you know, you, Mike or Barry or whatever your name is, or fucking Michelle or Mary or Philip or Thomas or fucking Barry again. Do you know what I mean? Because there might be two Barrys that has job interviews, like, you know what I mean? So go and smash it, you know what I mean? Go and catch it by the back axle. Take this day by the back axle, all of you, and drink from it. Yeah. I feel it very hyper, and I'm only after drinking about that much of the Red Bull, of the Berry Boost. Oh yeah, weird, isn't it? I gave away, I had 3 fish tanks here for a while. So I had a big fish tank. It was about that size. And then I put up a video about Pa's clause when I was going to go in and buy a fish tank on Christmas Eve, but they were closed. Then my brother got on to me and said that he had a fish tank that was like kind of smaller than a dinner plate, but tall, like, you know, like, obviously it'd be taller than a dinner plate because the fish would be just, it wouldn't be enough to submerge a fish. So then he gave me that. So then I put the fish into that and took him out of the massive tank. The massive tank was like a 1-bedroom apartment, and then I put him into that small one, and he was nearly folded in half inside it, because not the way goldfish grow to their environment. So he was kind of big, and then he was just inside in that, and he looked miserable. So then I went in and bought one inside in Pa's clause, and it was after they announced that they were closing down. So it was 35 quid, and your man was like, just give me 25. So fair enough. And then fucking about not even a week later, the fish was just resting in peace inside the tank. Just upside down, just resting in peace. Just like, Mount St. Oliver job, like, you know what I mean? Requil Mass, family flowers only, all that kind of jazz. I was like, bud, I just bought you a new fucking home, like. And then you're just like, I'm out anyway, good luck, yeah. RIP.ie, chat. So, like, you think goldfish are the most basic fucking pets that you can have. And then you get them a new tank. You get this little calcium block thing for them. You get stones. You make sure when you're cleaning it, you clean the stones and you rinse everything out you've cleaned, and you get the plants and you do this and do that and get the proper food and you feed them every day and everything else. And then one day there's like, nah, upside down, RIP.ie. I'm like, you're meant to be easy to look after. Why are you just upside down one day? Or why are you just sideways one day? Know what I mean? Tracking gone, you're just fucking jackknifing across the tank. And I'm like, will you just be a goldfish and eat the little bits of fucking coloured food that I'm giving you and just live and swim around and look nice? Know what I mean? Don't be fucking falling yourself in half, being all dramatic because I gave you a new home. Know what I mean? I don't get it. So yeah, I posted, so I got rid of 2 of the fish tanks, and then I still had the brand new one that was like, the fish lived in for about 5 days before he evicted himself into the fishy pearly gates. Oh, that sounds rotten. But so I put that fish tank up on my Snapchat story. I said, lads, anyone who wants this fish tank, give me a shout, you can have it. Young fella got on to me a few minutes down the road. I didn't know him. Met him, literally pulled up next to him in traffic, handed it out the window. There you go, bud. Thanks very much. He was like, yep, no bother, bud. Thanks very much. Gone. Lovely. I'd much rather that now than fucking throwing it in, giving it to Mr. Binman. Know what I mean? Because that's what I would have done with it. I was on the verge of it because it was just sitting in my kitchen with nobody in it. It was vacant. I would have having to start paying vacant property tax on it. Know what I mean? So yeah, I was glad that I was able to get rid of it like that. Oh God, my leg! Where's my leg doing that? But yeah. Did I have any messages that I was supposed to play? Do you know what I did? Mike, Michael, Mike. I forgot to put your fucking voice note into my email so that I can play it on the computer. Now it's just in my phone, so I can't play it into the microphone because you won't hear it properly. So you're gonna have to forgive me, Mike. Oh God, do you hear my knee cracking? I wanted to pick it up. If not, I'll edit it in. Why is it so hard to say edit it in? It's because the end of the word is like edited in, edited in. Oh yeah, I was talking to someone the other day about when somebody posts a screenshot on whatever app it might be. I'm fucking loving my life here. I have my legs thrown up, I have my shoes off, my socks then I'm just in my socks and I'm just holding my feet up, just loving life here now, just in my little studio, know what I mean? But I was talking to somebody and I was saying about like, you know, it wrecks my head when somebody screenshots something and then they post it on a different app, but they don't crop it. You're like, why would you, like, there's an option, like now when you screenshot something, there's an option before it saves into your camera roll or your gallery or whatever, there's an option to crop it. Please just crop your pictures. I was meeting a girl years ago, right? No, years ago this was, right? And we went away somewhere and no, we weren't going out. We were just seeing each other for a while, do you know what I mean? And a few of us went away somewhere and there was a picture of me and her sitting down. And so somebody, I think, sent her the picture the following day or something like that, right? And she screenshot the picture, right? So we were here in the picture, we'll just say, yeah? Then there was a load of dead space above us in the picture, right? Then above that was the time and the battery percentage and a Facebook notification and fucking other notifications up on top of the screen. And what did she do with the picture? Posted it as her profile photo with her battery percentage and her Facebook notification and the time and the dead space. And then we were just there at the bottom. So I can imagine, like, I remember coming across it on Facebook and I was there scrolling and I was like, oh, what's she after posting? Oh, the time, the battery percentage, dead space, dead space, dead space, dead space. And I'm just scrolling, dead space, dead space, dead space. And I'm still scrolling and I'm just like, what's she after posting? Dead space, still scrolling, dead space. And next thing, I'm taller, so I just saw the top of my head. So I was like, hold on, that's the top of my head. Then I scroll down another few minutes and then I see her. And then I scroll down another bit and I see the full rest of our bodies at the bottom of the picture. And then, like, the back button and the home button and the fucking, that button where you close all your apps or something. Everything was there. It was about that length. And it was like, I didn't even like it. I'm like, I'm not liking that picture. No, not liking it. And I text her, I goes, why? What? Fix the picture, the state of it. It's like, why? What's wrong with it? What's wrong with it? I said, you can see your whole fucking software updating the fucking thing. Does that bother anybody else, or is it just me and a couple of other people who I've confirmed it with? I think it's very annoying anyway. It's so easy to do. You know, it's not as if it's a fucking, like, a mad setting that you have to go into. You literally screenshot it. But why are you screenshotting things anyway? You can just press save. It really grinds my gears when you send someone something on Snapchat in chat and it comes up saying, fucking whoever it is screenshotted your pic. Why did you screenshot it? Now you're going to have this big fucking time and everything in it. Hold it, save, go straight into your gallery or camera roll or whatever it is. You don't need to screenshot it. Why? You don't need to. It's just one extra touch. You just touch it, hold it, press save, done, saved. Don't be screenshotting it. Don't screenshot from anywhere. Facebook, save image. Messenger, save image. WhatsApp goes automatically into your phone. There's still people screenshotting things from WhatsApp. Know what I mean? And then it's like you screenshot from your family chat and there's a picture of you, and then underneath it says like, oh, tell Mary I was asking for her. The dinner looked lovely on her. And then that's it, because it cuts off at the bottom of the screen, and then people are putting things up as their story like that. 2 Snapchat notifications, Tinder notification, Grindr notification, done deal, adverts, everything all across the top of the screen. The time, the fucking date, everything across the top of the screen. And you're scrolling for 3.5 weeks before you can actually get to the picture. So please, crop your pictures. Right? It's very easy. Thanks very much. Sorry, I didn't mean to fly off the handle like that. It's very grumpy. I'm always saying that. I'm very grumpy in the mornings, right? Just for a slag, because I'm not very grumpy in the mornings. But why are people grumpy in the mornings? Like, I know you might need a little bit of time to, frost. But, like, how long do you need, like? Do you know, I could be woken up with a problem and not be grumpy. I could be walking up and go like, your car is on fire. I'd be like, is it? Where's my phone? And take a video. Do you know, I could be walking up, the postman came, but the post box, your letter box is just missing. I'm like, is it, yeah? Fuck, wonder what happened that. Oh, I'll just go to make a piss there, 2 minutes, I'll deal with it. Do you know what I mean? I'd hate to be just a grumpy bastard in the morning for no reason. It's alien to me. Like, I've never been like that. It's so weird. But it's probably because my brain is just fucking constantly running, like, in the background. You know, like a background app is probably working in the background, and like I ask app not to track and stuff like that. But maybe it's because I'm not fully asleep, and I have never been fully asleep. I wonder what it's like to be fully asleep. That's probably it. Maybe my brain is just not fully switching off, so then I'm not going into that full sleep cycle, so then I'm not as affected by morning grumpiness, and that's why I don't fly off the handle. You know what I mean? Now, if I was woken by a call on Messenger, or a call on Snapchat, or a call on WhatsApp or something, what are ye doing in 2026 ringing people on things that isn't fun? If you're not ringing someone on like, that's dialing the phone number, then what are you doing? What are you? Is that the Messenger one? What's the Snapchat one again? All I can think of is that old Nokia ringtone. What was that? Hurdy-gurdy, wasn't it? That's all I can think of. I can't think of the Snapchat ringtone, but I know it sounds different. And I know that when I hear it, I'm like, I'm not answering that. Why, you vegetarian? No, but I'm not answering a phone that my neighbour rang when his apartment be smelling like the back of a dead raccoon's ass. Know what I mean? That just sounds like I'm not answering. Or I'd text the person and say, what's up? Have you got credit? What's credit? Know what I mean? I don't know. I don't get it. But there was something I was going to say. I gave myself a little reminder in that last voice note I was going to say, in that last thing that I was just talking about. Calls on Messenger. Snapchat and all. Ringing on the fucking hurdy-gurdy, the ringtone. Snapchat ringtone. Lads. I'm replaying all this in my mind now. And I can't remember what I was going to say. Will you hold on for a second, will you? Don't go. Please don't go. Please don't go. What the fucking fuck was I going to say? That's going to wreck my head. No, because I know that it was something, and I was like, oh yeah, what about this thing? And then my brain was like, we got that in a minute. And I was like, yeah, but wait, what was it to do? Oh God, above in Dublin. I'm going to have to write this down now if I think about it. And I don't know how I'm going to move on from this. Because now it's like, so when I hear Snapchat ringtone, I think I'm not answering that. My neighbour made apartment smell like a dead raccoon's ass. Yeah. So that was I didn't have that. Yeah. So I'm not answering a messenger call. I'm not answering a Facebook, WhatsApp call. Then I went into Jeffrey Dahmer. I'm not eating there. Go away. I don't know. Fuck off out of it. Follow me on all the socials, will you? Walshunit on all the socials. Walshunit41 on TikTok. Email is walshunit@gmail.com. Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. All of them kind of things. Yeah, I don't know. It's going to annoy me now. 1 second now. What was I? Oh, yes. So this is something that I was going to say earlier when I was talking about being on the TikTok live. And there was a girl there. And So I said on the TikTok live, I said, look, does anybody, because when I'm doing the TikTok live, I'll make sure that my logo is in the background, right? So that if anyone is watching it, they might think, oh, this fella's a fucking idiot. Oh, he has a podcast. Maybe I'll go watch some of it, you know? So I said, look, lads, I said, on the off chance, I said, does anybody here who doesn't actually watch my podcast or doesn't know what a podcast is or whatever? And someone replied and said, I've never watched a podcast. What's it about? Right? So never watched any podcast, whatever. So then I just flicked on to the bonus episode, the one where I was on about one of the boys' elbow dropping the floor, and I held the phone up to the camera and showed like whatever, and she was like, "Oh, I'm definitely going watching that or whatever." So will you just tell people that you're friends with, just say, watch this podcast or listen to it, and they'll be like, "What's a podcast?" And you'll be like, "A YouTube video." Or it's just a track on Spotify or Apple fucking podcasts or whatever it is. But just explain to people, lads, that it's not this big thing, or you don't need to subscribe to anything, or no, please do subscribe. Please subscribe on YouTube and follow all the socials and all, and give me a 5-star rating on Spotify and all that kind of jazz. And comment on everything as well. Put it in the comments. But, do you know, people think that it's this big thing that is like completely out of the ordinary for them, whereas they would probably sit down and watch YouTube videos, or they'd watch like vlogs and stuff like that. But that's basically what it is, like, you know, as you know, like, because you're here listening, it's basically like a vlog of life, of what's going on and what's been going on lately and your opinions and views on things. I don't know why I'm telling you, because you're after fucking listening to the whole episode if you're after getting this far, do you know what I mean? So yeah, but I'm just asking you to spread the word for me, and I would appreciate it. But I'd love to know now. I'd love to know what I was going to say a while ago. That's going to wreck my head, and it's probably not going to come back into my head. But yeah, I don't know. I've no dinner on. It's fucking, time is it now? 2:20, and I have no dinner on, and that means I'm probably not going to put a dinner on. Might just get a Chinese. YOLO. You know what I might get? Or what I might do? I might create an app, right, where you can ask it things like, how many calories are in this? And how many of these am I meant to have per day? And give me a meal plan or whatever. Or do you think it's okay that I went down as far as Domino's in Mount Kennett and I got a large pizza, and then I went up to your man and I goes, come here, I'm just looking at your takeaway deal there, or your collection deal. And he was like, oh no, it's actually $9.99 tonight. So then you got a large, mighty meaty pizza, and you went over and you sat by the river and you ate the whole entire pizza, and you drank 2 cans of Coke, and you ate the garlic dip as well, which is like the most fatty thing in Domino's. Is that okay? And then I want the app to go, yeah, that's grand. And you know what the app is going to be called? Fat GPT. And it's just going to be my voice. and someone's going to ask like, how many sausages should I eat today? And then I'll come back and I'll be like, great question. How many sausages are there? They'll be like, 12. Or they might say a dozen for some reason instead of saying 12. Why do people say a dozen instead of saying, or half a dozen instead of saying 6? Half a dozen, right? You can take away half, you can take away dozen, you can take a, which is one letter, and instead of one letter, change that to one number. 6. Right? So someone say, or I'd say, how many sausages are there? And they'd be like, a dozen. And I'd be like, oh, a dozen? You mean 12? Why the fuck would you just not say 12 then? Why are you wasting my time and your time by saying a dozen? And then they'd be like, all right, man, sorry. And I'd be like, yes, just don't let it happen again. And they'd be like, so how many should I eat? And I'd be like, all of them. And they'd be like, thanks, Fat GPT. And I'd be like, no problem. And I'm going to have my computer voice like eating while it's giving you the answer and burping and stuff and farting. And you'll be asking it for like diet tips or whatever, and it's giving you the worst advice known to men. And then it's like, and everything, do you know what I mean? Yeah, so Fat GPT, keep an eye out for it because it's coming. Yeah. How many sugars should I have in my tea? 4 of them. Thanks, Fat GPT. No bother. What are you getting to eat? And then they'd be like, oh, I'm getting this and this and this and this and this and this. I'd be like, good choice. And then I'd be like, send foods. No, instead of saying like send nudes, the way people say that, I'd be like, send foods. And then they'd just send pictures to me. And I'd be like, yummy. Fat GPT likes this. And then they'd be like, thanks, Fat GPT. I'd be like, no problem. So yeah, that's the plan anyway. So keep an eye out for Fat GPT. And make sure you like and comment and subscribe and share and put it in the comments. And comment anything again on this video. If you made it this far, comment anything on the video for me, please. Means a lot. And I'll be back next week. Look at me. I never even said what episode this is. This is episode 13. What the heliante? What the heliante, Wilder? I didn't even realise that I said that I didn't say the episode number. That's the first time ever. That's mad. But anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Go follow all the socials. And I will see you next week. And as always, have a good. The unit, the unit.